While cruising around on a snowy evening, which is very rare in my town, I noticed Amazon Flex had some pretty high-paying offers. I decided to snag one, willing to deliver and have some fun on some icy roads, but secretly hoping that they would close the warehouse and send us home due to inclement weather. Pretty much everything is closed tonight. Like, I went to Taco Bell, closed. I went to McDonald's, closed. Now there were no Amazon ships at all until the very last minute. All of a sudden a bunch popped up, and I got one for $96, 3.5 hours. But what I'm hoping is that the warehouse is actually closed, because I've had that happen during like tornadoes and stuff. The irony is I still have to drive to Amazon in a tornado, but then I can just drive home and I get paid. So that's nice. So no tornado today, just frozen roads. So yeah, I don't know. It's 3 a.m. and it's super bright. Let me turn my headlights off. Yeah, look at this. No headlights at 3 a.m. and I can see the road. That's crazy. We kind of just slide back and forth. My tires are in fact bald. And this is a rear-wheel drive. Yeah, I might actually be late if I keep going 40, but I also don't want to crash. This is all black ice right here. There were a bunch of tire tracks in the median. The people just keep going over it. Okay, we're almost here. We're passing the strip club, which is the sign that we are just around the corner from this warehouse. Oh, the strip club's closed. Actually, they're always closed on Wednesday. Not that I would know. I can smell the HIV. Okay, so basically driving here, I was like, okay, I'm certain it's not going to be open, but I haven't gotten an email that they're closed. And normally an email comes in as I get close, but I might actually have to do my job and deliver packages. And the thing is, 96 for 3.5, all right, that's an increased rate, but that's nothing special. Like, I can get that every day if I try. Like, there's no reason I should be doing this. Oh, no way, they're actually open. Oh, no. And it's busy. All right, I gotta check in. I would bet money everyone here thought that we were getting a free shift. Also, why are they all just standing outside their cars? I feel like I'm missing some sort of drama. Well, we're checked in. What the flip, man? Lame. Okay, well, I've been waiting 20 minutes. Let's go see what's happening. Oh, it's slippery. I've actually never seen this happen before. Well, there's definitely no carts. I don't see any packages. I also don't see any staff. What the hell? Did they leave the building unlocked? Okay, I waited about 5 minutes inside. Okay, gamers, we're moving. Or is everyone just... I can't tell if they're scanning or if they're just leaving. Okay, I feel out of the loop. Like, everybody just left. I'm still gonna go in, though. Alright, let's see what's going on. Huh, there's no staff in here. Interesting. Well, hopefully I get paid. Well, Amazon did not pay me for this. And some of you might be like, well, obviously, you didn't deliver any packages. But Amazon is, dare I say, kind of generous when it comes to their policy on events like this. I was honestly really surprised the first time this happened. Like, I figured it would be like when a DoorDash order gets canceled and you get, well, nothing usually. It's been, whoa! I forgot it was frozen. But on the flip side, Amazon does consider this rate to be guaranteed, and they actually fulfill that. Well, until they don't, considering I literally just said that I did not get paid for this one. The thing is, I really enjoy Amazon Flex when it works as intended. Like, the day-to-day tasks that it requires of you is actually pretty enjoyable to me. Even when things outside of my control do happen, like traffic jam or an address I can't locate, or even a customer's dog chasing me, it doesn't bother me too much. Like, it doesn't follow me home. It feels like driving in a dream. This is how I drive in dreams. Just whatever I do to the steering wheel doesn't actually really impact driving all that much. I'm flooring it right now. It's just, it doesn't want to let me go. Well, the dog follows me a little bit down the street, like, until I drive fast enough. But what does bother me is when the Amazon system just isn't working as intended, because then I just feel so helpless. Like, one time I spent literally multiple hours, like 2 hours in the warehouse, just trying to start my shift because my cart of packages wouldn't scan. And getting help from staff was just so difficult because, okay, they're there, but they don't really care. Like, they get paid the same regardless of whether one flex driver fails to get his block that day. And I've been on the other side of this too, where my block is just fine, but I'm like organizing my packages and another driver there is having an issue. Whoa, all right.
We got a little spin. Not much though.
And the warehouse people just aren't being helpful. So luckily at this point, I feel like I've experienced so many issues that I can kind of just barge in and fix issues for them. And I don't know, the worst part is for this particular shift with myself, I had a second shift 30 minutes after this one ends at a different warehouse, and Amazon does not forgive you for being late. So after spending 2 hours in this first warehouse, I sped, like, admittedly dangerously fast to get a 4.5 hour shift done in less than 2.5 hours just to make sure I don't miss my next block. And in hindsight, I probably should have just cut my losses, canceled the second block, and prioritized safety. But there was this one time where I was exhausted. I should have been asleep hours ago. In fact, I was lying in bed as this happened, but a pretty good shift popped up on the app. And I had just brushed my teeth, I pee-peed and everything. I was ready to doze off, but I was like, damn, $89 for 3 hours. In my market, that's really good. So I accept it and I crawl out of bed and I start taking those little micro naps while in the Amazon line, trying to check in from my block. And I'm just fantasizing of being in bed. And I'm like, this was such a mistake. But I just keep pushing. I'm telling myself, 89 bucks, just 89 bucks. I really want that 89 bucks. So they get to me and I check in, I get the block of packages and I'm like, oh God, it's 35 stops, which is a regular amount for 3 hours, but I was hoping for 12 stops. I was hoping I'll be lucky. So I scan all 35, I swipe to begin my shift, and the app freezes. So I relaunched the app and it cleared all my package scans. But I already organized them in the car, so I'm like, okay, whatever. My phone froze, my problem. I climb around to my car and I scan all 35 again. I swipe to finish and all the packages disappear. And I'm like, no way. But staff, as usual, they haven't seen the issue, so they tell me to sign out, sign back in, uninstall, reinstall, and of course they tell me to call driver support, which anytime you do, driver support tells you to just ask the warehouse what to do, and you get stuck in this loop, and I was not in the mood to get stuck in the loop today. So when it's time for us to leave the warehouse, I just pull out with all of my unscanned packages, and I just sit. I park on the side of the road for a second, and then I fall asleep for a minute. Then I wake up from my little power nap a few minutes later, and there's already been a whole nother wave of drivers that already packed up and left. So I just pull around back to the warehouse and just dump all the packages just in the parking lot, and I just leave. I go back to bed, and I'm like, whatever. I won't even try to get money for that. So yeah, if you got uh-oh, your Amazon package has been delayed. If you ever got that message from Amazon, there's a slim chance it was because of me. But anyway, back to this particular snowy block. The one problem that I've run into that I have yet to find a quick and easy solution to is with getting payment. So in the case that Amazon overhires, a staff member will check you out and you just get paid shortly after. But in the case that the warehouse is closed, say due to bad weather, there's no staff there to check you out. So then I have to contact Amazon and ask for payment, and I send proof that I was there and that the warehouse is closed. And so I did this usual thing as soon as I got home from this snowy shift. I sent it not only to Amazon driver support, but also to Jeff Bezos himself, which, okay, it sounds silly, but his personal email is actually a monitored email that also responds to support issues. And it took 2 days to get a response, but Amazon responded saying that, oh, you're right, this was beyond your control. So they told me that they removed the ding from my account so that my standing goes back up. Okay, cool. But they didn't pay me. Normally, this is when I would get payment in my bank account. So again, I responded and emailed them asking for payment. And they reply, we've updated your delivery history and this issue will be removed from your standing details. You are only paid for blocks that you complete delivery services for. Now, this is an email that I've never personally received, but I have heard of many other drivers getting this. And most drivers seem to just go, oh, well, okay, that sucks. But this literally isn't true. It's in Amazon's policy that you're paid for any block you show up for as long as you're on time. So I email Amazon a third time, this time including proof of their own policy, which directly refutes what support said in their last email. And this time they respond almost immediately. Alex, payment for this block will be sent to your bank account within 1 business day. What? I don't get it. Why is that so hard? Why did they not do this the first time? But what I did learn is from doing 350 shifts is it feels like every support agent is trained differently because you always end up having to explain Amazon's own policy back to their staff team. But also, you can kind of just get support agents to do like anything if you ask the right questions. Like I got one agent to mark my entire shift as delivered automatically, so that way I didn't have to take individual pictures of all my deliveries, which is not the best idea considering now there's no proof I actually delivered anything. But it was because the system was having issues and each stop was taking me 5 to 10 minutes to mark it as delivered. But either way, I finally got paid after a few emails and an attempted like gaslighting by some Indian Amazon guy. Though I will note that I still have a penalty on my account from failing to arrive on time. Okay, whatever. In the big picture, this was really not a big deal. It took a few emails and I got paid. But the title of this video is that this is the shift that got me to quit Amazon. And that's genuinely not a lie. It's not clickbait, because this shift and what I was thinking during this shift had a large impact on my decision to stop delivering after this. Back when I first signed up for all these gig apps, including like Uber and DoorDash and Instacart, I was 22 years old and I got denied from Lyft because they have a minimum age requirement of 25 years old. So Lyft support called me after I was rejected, and it was like a friendly team member. He was like, yeah, sorry about that. Just get back to us when you're 25 and we'll be happy to get you onboarded. And I was like, yeah, okay. There's no way I'm gonna be doing these wage slave apps in over 2 years when I'm turning 25 years old. But I turned 25 March 19th of this year. It's been rapidly approaching, and in turn, my goal for the past 6 months or so has been to clean up my finances and increase my income enough that I can kiss these apps goodbye before my birthday. And so I was sitting in this like frozen Amazon parking lot at 3 a.m. pulling off with no payment, and I just kept telling myself, this is it. This has to be it. I cannot do another shift. I need to close this chapter and get on with other projects. This is the last time I'm pulling off from here. So 351 shifts, 9,135 deliveries, 37,000 miles, and $32,000 in revenue. And I am hanging up my Amazon vest. There were times where I did one shift a day for 30 or 45 days straight. And there were times where I did 2 shifts a day for 2 or 3 weeks straight. And there were also those times where I did just 1 or 2 shifts a week. But after 2 years and 2 months of thinking about when my next shift will be and constantly refreshing the app no matter what I was doing, like I'm working, I'm refreshing, I'm eating, I'm refreshing, I'm driving, I'm showering, I'm on the toilet, whatever. I was always refreshing Amazon Flex. It was like my version of doom scrolling. But for the past month now, I have not opened the app once. And I'm certainly not like anti-Amazon or anti-Amazon Flex or anything. This has been the perfect opportunity to do exactly what I needed to get done. I was able to make $20 to $25 an hour on my own time. So way back at the end of 2022, I earned $3,000 from Flex, which paid all my bills for a month without me having to be on camera, like at all. And this was when I wanted a break from YouTube for a month. And then in 2023, it financially filled in the places where my other revenue streams were lacking, with $10,000 in earnings. It also let me do a lot of like introspection this year. I got to drive around for hours just thinking to myself, thinking about myself, thinking about my relationships and like what I want to do next, all while listening to lots of music and a couple podcasts as well. And then in 2024, Amazon generated me $18,000, all of which was put towards my debt that had been piling up from the years before. And finally, in January of 2025, I earned $500 from Amazon Flex. Not for any particular reason, just because I kind of felt like getting out of the house. And all this isn't to say that I'll never do a shift again. Like, I still think they're a fun way to just, get out of the house and take a break and see a little bit of my city or whatever. And even if I never pick up another package again, I do have some more gig app related topics that I want to cover in videos centered around experiences and what I learned that might help you out. But I specifically need to ensure, personally, that Amazon Flex is no longer one of my primary sources of income, nor is it on my mind all day and every day. I especially don't want to be sitting around refreshing the app anymore, or else I'll have failed my goal that I set for myself over 2 years ago. But there are a few possible outcomes. One is where the projects that I'm currently working on and that I plan to work on just fail, like they don't work out. I end up back in crippling debt, and I hop back on the gig app grind to, well, grind out more deliveries. However, there is another outcome where I uninstall all the apps and Amazon Flex becomes a distant memory. A pretty bizarre but important few years in my mid-20s where I underwent a lot of changes. And I bet there will be plenty of times, like in the future, where I'm like, man, I really miss those days. Like waking up at midnight and just cruising around my city every night until sunrise, just tossing poly mailers at houses and vibing to, I don't know, drum and bass or whatever. I think there will be a time where I'm like wishing that I could kind of go back to my mid-20s and just enjoy the simplicity of driving around in pure isolation, just delivering packages. And I'm going to shoot for this second outcome. I personally like looking at life as chapters, and I want this one to end on a high note, where the beginning of the like side hustle gig app chapter of my life was from a place of uncertainty and maybe a little bit of sadness and instability. But then this chapter ends, not even because it has to, but because I decided that it's time to move on.